Hello everybody, welcome to another New World video. I'm not going to be showing any cool stuff of like, hey, how to do this, hey, what's going on. It's not going to be a tutorial video per se. What we're going to talk about is a lot of things going on with Aeternum and New World. My name is Danotage, and please, if you haven't done so, subscribe now if you'd like to check out more. I'm not going to really do a huge intro here, we're going to get right into it. So, as you may have been able to see from the title, there's a lot of things going on. There's a big question. Is New World kind of over with already? I think to say that is to essentially not understand how MMOs have kind of been in the past. You may be new to MMOs. I think New World brought a lot of new people to the genre. Not to say that it is going to exactly bounce back like a lot of other ones, but as we've also seen, a lot of MMOs have just failed. That's just kind of how it goes. And that doesn't mean that New World has failed yet. I have not been streaming a whole lot of New World. In fact, I haven't streamed much New World in the last couple weeks. I have been playing it, and I think that's important, which is why I'm able to do more videos, which is why I've been able to talk about it. I've been keeping up with it. Obviously, my community and us right here in the cave, we still get together. A lot of us are in the company. I've been able to bring a lot of people from my company over to our friend's server. So a lot of the people that I played Battle for New World with, including, I'm going to drop some big names, but that's just kind of the way it goes. So like, One Peg is somebody I've spoken with, and the reason that we've kind of made the move. We're also playing with Sacriel and Firelight Excalibur, and Shroud, and Anthony, and Grims, and a whole bunch of other people that have all come together to kind of have this fun server that we can all sort of understand and talk about things together on. And as we've seen in the last, our server has kind of been taken over by this giant Marauders mega squad. So it's actually been a really cool time to be in there and to be part of the whole push back on trying to get a lot of our territories back, because we had about half the server. A lot of people went on to move on to like Battlefield and upcoming with Halo. It's the end of the year. It's kind of going to be a big cluster. There's a whole lot of things going on. MMOs and the like take a lot of time and dedication to play, and obviously not everybody's going to have that amount of time to sink into that. What I want everybody to know is that is not... So, the reason people are not playing is not necessarily because they don't like the game anymore. However, there's a lot of people that don't like the game anymore. And I think it's important to talk about both things. I'm not here to defend New World. I'm here to actually be, hopefully, a critical eye, and hopefully be able to shed light on those that have been doubting, but not really fully understanding how it could even survive the next few months. I do think that there are some cool things on the horizon. I think that there are a lot of problems that have been existing since maybe the preview back in like October of 2020, something like that. I don't remember, it was a while ago. But the big point is that there has been a long time with a lot of new things, and quite frankly, it is some things that seem very... as most people might say, or a lot of people might say, incompetent of the devs. I don't think there's incompetence here. I think there's just a lot to handle, and they're taking one thing at a time. It's also important to note that every MMO has gone through this, and I've said this already before, but let's think about what the biggest MMO RPG in the world is right now. It's probably Final Fantasy XIV, and as somebody who didn't play it on launch, I was playing Star Wars The Old Republic, and, well, that game's still around. And I think it's doing okay. It's definitely not near the biggest, and there's a whole lot of people that have stopped playing a long time ago. But it got really big 3 times, I would say, since its creation, and every time they update with new stuff, a bunch of people flock back. But let's talk about Final Fantasy, the biggest one out there. When it launched in, I believe, 2010, it was really bad. In fact, I would say it was much worse than New World is at launch now. It was really bad. There was a lot of stuff missing. There was a lot of content that just didn't feel right. There were tons of bugs. The servers didn't often work. There's a lot of things that went wrong with the launch of Final Fantasy. Now, to say that is to say, it's important to also say that, well, that could have been one of many things. We really love the devs over at Square Enix and the people that have been developing Final Fantasy for all these years. They're really good people. Having had one-on-one conversations, and I've had lots of opportunities to observe how the devs at Amazon Game Studios work, they're also very good and very talented, and they pay attention. There are glaring mistakes that they've made. I think from the closed beta even to launch, and even from the preview to the closed beta. From the preview to the closed beta, they kind of, they hacked the hatchet in half. Like they really neutered it, and then they again overcorrected during launch, and now the hatchet is one of the best weapons in the game again, as it was in the preview. Things kind of changed all around. The biggest glaring mistake I think that they made, which totally neutered all PvP for me until level 60, was taking out the scaling. Now, a lot of people disagree with me. I think most people agree with me here that you saw an extreme decay or decrease since the previous iterations before the official launch of players under 60 playing in PvP, open world, or wars, or what have you. Because levels mean something now. We're not here to talk about that. I may do a video on that. It's getting a little late past launch to do a video on that, but it's worth mentioning at some point, so hopefully there's a reversal at some later date. But essentially that ruined PvP for me, and basically I became nothing but a PvE person. I still paid attention, I still looked at stuff, I still gave people advice based on what I understood about PvP as best as I possibly could, and we moved past that, essentially. It's important to note also that there are some really good things that happened from closed and open beta to now, to launch. They've taken a lot of the feedback on spawns for elites and stuff like that. Yes, there are sometimes too many spawns, and sometimes they spawn way too fast. But again, there's not a whole lot of time to do a lot of these things, because I do believe that if the devs had even more of a choice to do certain things, they would have delayed it again, and delayed it again, and delayed it again, until they were ready. Unfortunately, that's not how fans of the video game industry work. The people, the consumers, they want the game, especially if they've been hearing about it for a long time, as fast as possible. And with game development, it is very difficult to be able to gauge exactly when a game's going to be done, right? Because you have so many creative people that want to keep adding cool stuff, and there's so many producers that are so excited about the game that they want to keep saying yes, and then there's so many times where those things create bugs. So, again, not a lesson on how game dev works, but just sort of a background story on how this is come to pass and how we've understood how games work these days. It's important to note all these things. I have a couple of things I want to talk about as we get into it, but I wanted to explain to you why, and if you've been watching the Twitch channel, or maybe you haven't been watching the Twitch channel because we're not playing New World, or been kind of disappointed with New World so that you've kind of stayed away from our Twitch channel. I'll tell you right now, we're playing other games on Twitch. We're playing a bunch of things. There's a whole bunch of games coming out. There's plenty of things to check out. I just sort of have been having this sort of crisis on, well, what does everybody want to see? And if the more feedback you guys give me, the more I'm able to gauge that. But I've kind of just been playing whatever feels right at the moment, and whatever feels like I can have fun with. Again, I don't do these videos for clickbait. As you know, I try my best to give you a question or give you a topic and then cover that topic as best as I possibly can. I'm not a partner on YouTube. I don't try to get as many views as possible by tricking you into something. So hopefully you understand that I'm giving this video in the way of hopefully showing that I am truly want to give this game a fair shake and understand that, hey, this is something that I really like and I want to go far, and this is why we're talking about it in the first place. That's why it's a part of a discussion discussion playlist. Anyway, so in the near future, you may not see much New World. I will be playing it, like I said, offline, if you'd like to, and still be doing videos on it as much as I can. but there may be a pivot in game soon. If you see something come up and you really like it, make sure to let me know. And if you'd like to see something else coming up, also let me know. I know that there's new Final Fantasy stuff coming out. I'm probably not going to be playing that right away, but I will play it eventually. There are tons of other things that we can definitely get into, but I have a few things cooking up, and I will let you know as soon as we possibly can. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on in New World right now. So there's a lot of bugs that are being fixed. There's a lot of bugs that are being fixed to create, and then creating other bugs. It's just a big frustration fest right now, and I think that's a big reason why a lot of people have sort of left the game. A lot of people that have joined the game have sort of been pretty impatient, but then there's a point at which, and this is why this video is coming out as late as it is, there's a point at which I cannot say that anymore. Obviously, I do understand what dev is like, and it takes a long time, and to be patient, but I also understand that you can't really sit here and keep playing the game and just wait for things to happen, because things won't happen. But I also think that the devs understand that people are going to stop playing the game for a while because they need time to fix some stuff. But at least it's out there, and at least there's a lot of stuff going on. So be patient. Hopefully things will start to go away. Hopefully with a lot of people stopping to play the game, we will see a lot of bots disappear, hopefully, because people don't want to spend resources on the botting and stuff like that. Hopefully they don't get as much gain out of it. You'll see the bots come back when the game picks up again. But for now, hopefully, if you're still having fun with the game, the bots will slowly slow down, and you will be able to do whatever you like. And that's pretty cool. You'll see me. We're on Celadon, by the way, if you want to come join us on the US West. And speaking of that, there has been a couple of things that have come out from the devs talking about cross-region transfers. First, earlier this week, and I will be showing these on screen, and I will also link these articles in the description. Earlier this week, they put out a questionnaire, or at least a sort of survey. They said, hey, you're posting the forums if you're at all interested in cross-region transfers. If you want to go from, like, say, US or from the EU Central to US East, let us know. And then that way they can sort of figure out, in my opinion, this is totally a guess, figure out whether or not they want to keep putting resources to fixing that problem. I think that there is a sort of cynical side, and I don't necessarily think this is the case, but I don't necessarily rule it out either. There's a chance that they've not wanted to do cross-region transfers because they don't want to overload certain regions. That's the sort of cynical part. From what I understand and from what I think is, because I believe that this straight up no came from the dev side and not the marketing side, and not sort of the server or anything side. I think it came straight from the technical devs, which is why I think that there's just a problem that they cannot fix right now. So I think the survey may come along the way of saying, hey, do we want to keep putting resources towards fixing this problem? Or if there aren't enough people that are interested, maybe we should focus our efforts on something else. I think that's more likely the case than anything else. So there has been a survey put out, post in the forums. Go check the forums. If you don't check the forums regularly, that's definitely a good spot. It's where they post a lot of their things. In fact, everything I'm getting here has been posted on the forums. So keeping up with that will be a big help for whether or not you're going to keep doing stuff or what you should be focusing on. Okay. Next up, the announcement that came out on November 9th, 2021, is the announcement of the public test realm, the PTR. I have it downloaded. I've played with it a little bit. I've played with a couple things specifically for the new weapon that they introduced, which was the Void Gauntlet. The Void Gauntlet is I haven't played with it enough to say that it's broken, but it is very good. So this is also why I think that it's important to, while you may not have faith in the game, to keep it in the back of your head as something maybe to return to at a later date. The Void Gauntlet is an additional weapon that has been added to the game to give people the opportunity to have another combination of different stats. So the Void Gauntlet uses both intelligence and focus, and is a support weapon. So finally, we have something else that uses focus stat, rather than just the the healer, so the life staff. I think that there's many opportunities for the life staff and the Void Gauntlet to be used simultaneously as a combo itself, because I noticed a lot of people asking me, hey, if I want to be a healer, other than the life staff, what else should I use? And honestly, a lot of my answers have been kind of anything. Short of saying like a sword and shield to lower your weight, short of like maybe some of the heavier weapons. Almost anything goes with the life staff, because there's no really good thing that goes to the life staff, right? You can get fast weapons like the hatchet or the rapier and have something that gets you out of trouble, but like really it comes down to whatever you want as your secondary thing to just go with you. Now I think they're finally adding things where you can kind of do a lot of other combinations as well. So as a healer, you can have the Void Gauntlet, which has a ton of lifesteal and a ton of buffs for your party members, where you can keep yourself alive and do damage while still being able to switch back to the life staff and throw mega heals at your allies, which is super huge. In fact, if you're playing in a PvP war, let's say, and you're throwing out major heals to your party members, and then maybe get swarmed from like the flanks or something like that, you whip out the Void Gauntlet. You can then do a bunch of healing still, but you can also be able to debuff the enemies and buff your allies while you're able to maybe fend them off for a little bit, move to a better location, and then start healing again. It's actually really, really solid. It does everything that you want it to. The Void Gauntlet has manifested in Aeternum. Manipulate the powers of the Void to support your allies and debilitate your enemies with this magical DPS support hybrid. It's the first weapon to scale on both intelligence and focus, making it a great pairing with the life staff and other magic weapons. It's really cool. And as you can see, as you may have, I don't know if it's there still or always going to be there, but you can provide your feedback and tell the devs what you really think about it. They truly do listen. I think there's a lot going on there. Another thing that they have also added in talking about in the PTR is new missions and mobs. So we have Withered Swarmancer, a Beetle, the Lost Shaman, Pirate Alligator. Interested to see what that is. I haven't seen that yet. Ancient Guardian, Skeleton Mage, and Enhanced Corrupted Laborers. That adds to the enemies and the enemy types and the enemy factions that already exist that you're fighting now. There are new enemy quests that a lot of them come out of the Western Everfall and I believe Reekwater. So go do a lot of those missions if you want to get ready for those as well. I should say, in order to get into the PTR, essentially right now, so it all says it in the blog, but I'll sum it up for you. Right now, all you got to do is look in your Steam for the PTR, the Playtest Realm, and you'll be able to just download it. So it's called New World Public Test Realm. You can download it, you can get into it, and you can start trying stuff out yourself. How it's going to work is basically if they have something big that they want to start testing out, they will put it on the PTR, and you'll be able to play with it. As soon as they're ready to take it off and start trying to implement it into the game, basically getting ready for the big patch, they will take the PTR down. They will wipe everything. So you're not going to be able to like get a bunch, you shouldn't be trying to get a bunch of money there. You shouldn't be trying to break stuff there. It's quite literally just to test stuff. They'll bring it down, they'll wipe everything. And then when they're getting ready to bring out something again, they'll put another version of it up and you'll be able to download it. There may be locked out systems. There may be maximums. I believe, and I'll have to look on this again, but I believe if there'll be queues if it's full and stuff like that. So essentially, if there's a queue, it's probably not worth spending your time going on and trying stuff out. You'll be able to play with it soon. But if you're really into testing it and giving feedback, try your best to get in. I don't think it's very busy. I don't think there's a whole lot of people playing it. I think most people will rather wait. But if you want to get in there, you absolutely can. The big thing that I'm excited about is there's actually new stuff coming to the game that is not just new enemy types, but a whole new enemy. So there's a whole new enemy faction. I said enemy, but I meant enemy. I believe this is said Varangian. Kind of like, it sounds like Ferengi to me, but it's probably pronounced totally different. So there's a whole new Varangian type, which is, from what I understand, a bunch of people that have just kind of appeared. And in fact, part of the story and part of what you're figuring out through the quests is how they appeared and why they're even here in the first place. So the beaches of First Light and Monarch's Bluffs is where they've appeared, and you, and as now defenders of Aeternum essentially are there to go figure out why. I believe this works for newer players too, because I think most of the levels range from like 16 to 20. So this isn't new endgame stuff. That'll probably come later. This is new content to just be put into the game. It's probably a good way to introduce the Void Gauntlet, because I believe that this type is void powered, which we haven't really seen too much of from any other enemy. So it's like, hey, there's an enemy for every type of weapon or element that we've seen, but we have this void stuff that we don't really know where it came from. So this is probably meant to explain just that. So there's Varangian hewers, scouts, knights, archers, and I believe that's it. But essentially you're going out to do those quests to find out what they're actually here for and what they're doing. So with the new enemies, the new enemy varieties, new enemy quests, new legendary weapon quests. So you have the Void Gauntlet, and so like I said, there's stuff in Reekwater. So you have to be level 60. I believe you have to have the maximum skill level, so it's level 20 with the Void Gauntlet. And if you go seek out Antiquarian Abington in Reekwater to start, you start an epic endeavor, which I believe there are also a bunch of other epic quests in continuation, but go to Reekwater, find that out if you've already done so. Probably take you a while to level that once it comes out anyway. Go check that out, and there's a bunch of stuff in Shattered Mountain. There's a bunch of things to do with this. So they're adding legitimate content. And then they've made a bunch of things that, like I said, I'll post this. Another thing I wanted to point out is they are actually trying to figure out whether or not they can fix a lot of the major issues. And my favorite thing about what this dev team is doing is they are pointing them out. They're like, hey, here's the problems. Here's what we're trying to fix. One of the big things is server transfers. Our top priority with the server transfers is to address the edge cases that have blocked players from using their free transfer token, along with, I believe, a lot of the little things that have come with it. Region transfers. Our team is gauging interest in cross-region transfers. If you are interested in moving to a character to a different available region, for example, your character is in EU Central, but you would like to transfer to US West, please add your details in this forum post. So like I said, I'll post that as well. And then server merges. This is what I thought was going to happen before. So from what I understood as, well, kind of what I guessed, and I think a lot of people had the same idea, is the reason that they did world sets and the reason you couldn't have more than 2 characters in a world set was because they probably were going to merge them essentially at some point. Again, the launch of an MMO, at least for the first like year or two, is probably the largest amount of people you'll see in the game at any one time. Now that the game has been out for a little bit and the numbers have sort of fluctuated and gone different places, some people stop playing, some people are playing at different times, some people are just not playing, 18, 12, 20 hours anymore. This is now time to see some merges. So, what it says right here is server merges are on the horizon. What does that actually mean? There are a few action items that need to be addressed before we are confident that merging worlds will be a net positive experience for players. We need to test our technology. We have tested world mergers in closed beta, which caused a persistent issue that has since been resolved. And we continue to test merges with our team in non-public worlds. Since beta, we have addressed issues that as they arise and have added quality of life changes like a countdown timer for worlds set to merge. Public Test Realm provides us with our next opportunity, tentative schedule for Monday morning PST for our further test this technology before we used it in the live game. So they're doing everything, in my opinion, that they possibly need to do. Obviously, not everybody's happy with it. I totally understand what that means. I understand everybody's pain. Trust me, as somebody who has been waiting for this game for such a long time, I am with you. I don't want you to think that I'm just defending things because I think that these guys are the best things in the world. I think that they are very good at what they do, and I think that they are very passionate about what they're doing, and they're going to do their very best to make it work for you. But I'm not playing it. You don't see me playing it on stream. That's just kind of how it goes. So it's sort of a give and take. I want to give you what you want so that we can all be in this together. If you have any questions about what it is that I've covered, or if you'd like me to go further in depth with some of these blog posts or forum articles or whatever you have, please let me know. I know this is just me talking for a long time, now at like 26 minutes straight. But in the end, this is sort of where I am, and I think I don't think I'm alone here. If you are in a totally different place, please let me know. If you're willing to follow me to the ends of the earth, which is probably not the greatest case, also let me know. I'm willing to work with how we can do this. If you want to see some very specific New World videos, we can do that too. But be prepared to see other content come up, and hopefully it's stuff that you like. Hopefully it's something that can keep you interested in what we're doing here on YouTube, right here. Like I said, my name is Danotage. You can follow me everywhere. And I'll let you know. Join us in Discord and give us actual feedback. Our mods are there to actually take it if I'm not around, or answer any questions you might have. So, with that being said, I want to thank you so much for listening to me, and hopefully that this brought us on the same page about everything. And hopefully in the near future we can figure out how to do something together very soon. Again, look forward to videos every Monday and Friday. Friday is going to be something where we just sort of look at something new. As you've seen, we've had Deep Rock Galactic, we've had Darkest Dungeon, and be prepared to see just random things pop up there all the time. Try to look at new things and see how it goes. Monday will be a New World, probably next week as well, so look forward to that. And then after that, who knows? We'll figure out something. And then eventually we'll probably be back to New World. I have high hopes that it'll do better in the future. Don't know if it's the near future or the far distant future, but in the future. So with that, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.